So today's heritage video is going to be a little bit longer, if you haven't noticed that yet, and it's going to have a couple different parts to it. So today's video and heritage layout is actually sponsored by A Cherry on Top. I'm on their design team, so they have provided me with some of the product that I'm going to be sharing with you. They will also be hosting a blog post by me on their website. I'll link the blog below, and all of you that have been watching for a while and are interested in the things that I use to store, keep, and document my heritage photos, that blog post will have a nice list that you can bookmark, that you can screenshot, that you can copy and paste, and that will give you a list that you can keep. So the blog post will include step-by-step how I get my heritage photos from a photo I want to save to a photo I want to scrap. And it will have the list of apps, free ones and paid ones that you can use, that I use to play with my photos, make them more eye-appealing to me. It will have my favorite place to process my pictures, which is Persnickety, and all of those kinds of things. So head over there and you can take a look at that. So today we're going to be talking about something that is a little different. So this is a yearbook. This is my grandfather's yearbook. The year he graduated, 1945. It has his name embossed on the cover. And I am going to keep this. So this book is going to go in my archival museum safe box to be kept. But there are some parts of it that I would really like to scrapbook. So I think it's really fun and interesting because if you start to look through here, you'll see, that's actually my grandfather's page, but you'll see, so people signed it. There's little messages to my grandfather throughout it. And so I really wanted to keep the original because I can't take pictures of all of this, right? This isn't all things I can take pictures of. And plus, it's in decent shape. Like, it doesn't smell funny or anything. Just kind of like an old book, I guess. So there's a little book plate here to show where it was printed and just different things. It's just a really kind of neat thing to have. So this is the page where my grandfather's photo is, where his little bio is. He had his own nickname, and I love what it says here. I mean, they call him a redheaded wonder, which if you've seen any of my videos or a photo of me, you know I am a redhead, so I thought that was awesome. He had a nickname and all those kinds of things. So these are the kinds of things I want to scrapbook, right? But I don't, I'm not going to take this book apart. It's going to go from this video into the museum archival box where I have everything or most everything saved. Okay, so what did I do? I had a little photo session on my phone with the parts of that book that I wanted to scrapbook. And I just have my Persnickety prints here. Give me a second. I thought I had kept them all together. I will show you what I did. Here we go. All right. So from Persnickety Prints, this is what I took a photo of, and this is what we are going to be scrapbooking. So first of all, I put the book onto like a little wooden background that I have, like a photo background, and just snapped a photo of it. Not close up. It's okay if it's not like, you know, showing every little tiny detail because I have the book. I also took kind of a faraway photo just of the inside of the book where his senior photo was and where the little blurb about him was. And then I took that blurb and I made it big. I made it big so that you can read it. So my plan is actually to trim this off and just use this part so you can use it, so you can read what it says about my grandfather. Okay, so that's what we're going to be scrapbooking today. Something a little different. It's not a photo in the traditional sense. So to scrapbook these pictures, I have a new collection to share with you because I think for many of you that are scrapbooking heritage photos, and I know that there are quite a few because I've seen a lot of people in the comments. This is a new line from My Mind's Eye. It's called My Heritage, and it is absolutely perfect for these kinds of photos. This collection is not large, so it's not going to be a big budget eater. Let's say that, because there's only a couple embellishments and a couple papers. So I have one of each of the 12 by 12 papers. And you can see how lovely these colors are. They're not super dark. There's also this beautiful craft paper, which is like a specialty paper. So we just have these really pretty different patterns. So you can see, really, I mean, those are all of the 12 by 12 papers, one of each, so it's not a lot. I really like this one. I like them all, and I like both sides of them all. So it might be hard for me to decide which ones I want to use. That's okay. So those are the 12 by 12 papers. Then we have the 6 by 6 paper pad. I am a big believer in 6 by 6 paper pads. Love them to the moon and back. There are some papers in the 6 by 6 pad that I didn't get in 12 by 12, mostly because like this would be a really big pattern and bold. And then the back had more of a travel theme to it. The idea being, you know, you could circle and tell where, you know, your ancestors came from, that kind of thing. And so I'm just going to flip through here so you can see all the different patterns that come in the 6 by 6 paper pad. And it's just a lot of the repeating patterns. There's some parts here, like there's a family tree page. And there's a this family tree page comes in a 12 by 12 too, but I really didn't need it. I have a family tree already, so I didn't need to be able to fill that in. But if you did, it would be a nice option. And then it just repeats. So we have all those really nice patterns. There are some adorable My Mind's Eye enamel dots, enamel shapes. There's some hearts here too. I've always been a huge fan of My Mind's Eye's enamel dots because there's a lot of them. They're really, really nice size. I like them. These is just a sticker book, so it's a single-sided sticker book. And it just has, I think this is cool that it has all these numbers here. There's a date of birth, and these numbers are like you could cut them apart if you wanted to, you know, cut apart some things in there. Portraits from the past, just some nice date of marriage, date of birth, just some nice little heritage elements there. And then this is another sheet of stickers. I think there's a die cut pack too, but when I placed my order, the die cut pack was still on pre-order or hadn't arrived in the shop yet, and I decided to forego it because I wanted to make sure that I had all of my products in time to do this video. So some beautiful journaling spots. There's some little geotags here, date stamps, remember little pieces here. I'm just going to flip through these for you. So you can get an idea of what all is included in this collection. Okay, so that's what I have from this collection. It's a really nice collection, and like I said, if you head over to the Cherry on Top shop, you can grab some more, and they probably have the ephemera pack in now, and I think there was also charms or gems or something. There were two pieces that were still on pre-order when I ordered mine, so there'll be a couple more embellishments that you can grab in the shop. So things I know I want to use. I know that my grandfather's nickname in high school was Chink, and so I'm going to use these letters to spell out his nickname. And yeah, from there, I know I can kind of tell already that I'm probably going to end up having to dig into my stash to grab just some little bits and pieces. Not too many things. I still have some of those epoxies. I might grab those Scrap and Heavy Studio epoxies. I might grab some sequins or something. And I might need some texture, like cork maybe would look nice with this, something like that. But otherwise, I'm going to stick to just these products that I just shown you, and I'm going to get scrapping this layout. So I've chosen to use a craft background for my layout today, and I've also grabbed some of this cherry birch wood veneer paper. This is from Cardstock Warehouse. It comes 8.5 by 11 sheets, and you can get it at Amazon or different places, probably their website too. So what I'm doing here is I'm just going to go ahead and trim that 4x6 photo down so we just have the portion of the photograph that we want. And I like this setup for my photos, and I think that I want to do just a strip down the middle of a pattern paper and then keep all of my embellishments and things into that strip. And I decide that that's really probably the best way to design this particular layout. This layout's going to go together very fast, primarily because I have 3 photos and I'm keeping the embellishments very simple. So I chose this lovely paper here that has these little sprigs on it. I thought it added a little bit of interest. And I'm also going to go ahead and grab some of my Distress Oxide ink in Vintage Photo. And I'm going to go ahead and ink the edges of this paper. So this layout is going to come together very, very quickly and easily, simply because I'm keeping it that way, honestly. I ended up liking the more clean and kind of simple look on this layout, and I decided I didn't want to add too much. Now you saw me there, I dropped my Distress Oxide ink, but no worries, we're just going to flip the paper over, pretend like it never happened, because honestly that's my last sheet of craft cardstock. So I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to adhere this pattern paper to the middle of my craft cardstock, and then I'm going to add those 2 little strips of the black text paper on either side of it. Now I'm going ahead and I am going to mat all of my photos. So I matted the photo that had the text on it, and I matted that with some wood grain, with some of that wood veneer paper. And then now I have the other 2 photos I took, and I'm going to mat that one in this beautiful buffalo plaid. I thought it had a really nice contrast to the photos that were there. And this is how I'm going to go ahead and put my photos down. I'm going to use my T-scroller to keep things nice and straight. And then when I add my title, I'm going to change that all up and move the photos after getting them all nice and straight and centered on the page. Yep, sounds about right, right? Like that's just typical Sara Scraps, what she does. Lines everything up, realizes she wants to put her title somewhere, and then messes it all up. Anyway, it's just typical me, I guess. All right, so as you can see here, I'm going to make this super simple because now that I have these photos exactly like this, it makes embellishing it super easy. The next thing I'm going to work on and figure out is my title. I know I want to use those letter stickers. I'm kind of just flipping through, and I'm going to decide that I'm missing one too then because I think I'm looking for the alphabet, but I don't think it was there. I think I left it. Sit. Yeah. There it is. Ta-da! So I know that I want to use these alphabet letters, and I want to back them to give them a little bit more contrast off the paper. So I am going to take each of these stickers, I'm going to put them onto this black pattern paper. I'm looking here for the right one. I want one that has a little bit of a pattern, but I need it to be a small pattern because I want it so that you can really see the pattern. And I'm going to decide on this one. So I'm going to put the stickers on each of the patterns on this pattern paper, and then I'm just going to use my scissors to give them all a nice border. And I really like how this turned out. I think it gave the my title just the right amount of weight and the right amount of pop that it needed against that background.
And I have to move my picture. See, I told you. So I decided that I want to put my title in the middle there. So I've popped the title up on Pop Dots, and I've placed it right there between my two photos. I thought that was the best spot for it. And now what I want to do is I want to go through these stickers and kind of decide which ones I want to use, which will give me an idea of how many embellishments I'm going to need to stash dive for. So I'm grabbing my Rock Your Notebook, Get Sticky With It notebook, which is a reusable notebook that is pretty much just stitched sticker paper, and it allows you to do what I'm doing right now, which is to go through all of these stickers and just pull the ones that I think I might use into that book, and then that will help me in planning my clusters and help me to decide what I might need to pull from my stash. Okay, so I've pulled some wood veneer from my stash. Now this is Kaiser Craft wood veneer. I did get it a cherry on top. I think it was part of my first or second design team order. But Kaiser Craft wood veneer is fabulous. If you just go over to the shop and type into the search bar Kaiser Craft wood veneer, you're going to get all kinds of different things. This is more of like a gentleman's set, but the wood veneer, it's inexpensive. There's tons of it. It's really, really nice. I like the scale. I find it to be just a really nice addition to your scrapbooking supplies, and I reach for mine quite often. So I'm taking, this is that pattern paper that I used to back my title with. What I'm doing is I am cutting down little blocks of that pattern, and I'm using it kind of like to color block. So like we're doing some old school color blocking on this layout. How about that? I've set aside the wood veneer in each of the 3 clusters that I want to use. And now I'm just going to put these wood veneer, and I'm going to adhere them with my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive, and I'm going to cluster them together with the stickers, and you can see the 3 areas of embellishment. I also pulled out some of those metal Tim Holtz numbers. The numbers don't mean anything, they're just numbers. I just decided that I wanted that little bit of metal embellishment, and since even the icons weren't school icons, nothing was really like themed out at all. It didn't matter what numbers I put there, so I just went with it. So I'm going to go ahead and continue on here working within each of these 3 embellishment clusters, making the little blocks of the pattern paper, inking those little blocks, tucking them in, and then layering on top of that the wood veneers and the stickers. I also pulled from my stash one of these epoxy flares from Scrap and Happy Studio. This one says Tapestry of Life, which I thought was appropriate because we're documenting memorabilia and a book, not necessarily photos of a person. And the little article from the yearbook describes my grandfather and talks about his school years and, calls him a red-haired wonder and stuff like that. So I thought it worked really well. So I'm going to add the bow tie. I'm going to add these metal numbers into this cluster. And I also added one of those strips down across the bottom. You can see it there at the underneath the wood veneer. I'm actually going to bulk up that corner of my layout just a little bit more. I felt like I had 3 really nice areas of embellishment, but I wanted your eye to be able to kind of go down into the rest of that corner. I felt like that bottom left-handed corner was a little bit like it needed just a little bit of embellishment to kind of pull your eye through the page completely. I'm going to add enamel dots to each of these embellishment clusters, and then I'm going to go over to that side and work on that corner. And so down here in this corner, I'm just taking some of these stickers. I'm going to cut apart a few of the little leaf clusters. I still have the photo corners that I haven't used yet, and I'm just creating just a tiny bit of interest around that bottom corner. Again, just to keep it so that there is something down there that kind of draws your eye over that way. And also because I just felt like it was really kind of right-handed heavy, top heavy, like it just needed a little bit more balance down in that corner. And then since I have that top little piece that has the photo corner on it, I'm going to grab that other photo corner and kind of put it up at the top there with the other cluster that's at the top. And that's going to complete this layout. Very subtle, subtle embellishments, simple, much more clean and simple than probably what you're used to seeing from me, but I felt like it worked really, really well with the memorabilia that I was documenting. So thank you so much for joining me today. Be sure to head over to the blog to read some more information about collecting and documenting heritage photos and other items. I'll talk to you all again soon. Bye.